Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 916. That is 916 of the Agostino Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere in the depths of East London. How you doing? How you feeling? Great, amazing. It's a little bit dark where I'm at right now because the blinds are down. It's really warm out there. I don't want to put on my flipping table lamp LED thing because I'm gonna bake. I'm already baking as is because I decided to wear all black like a flipping idiot, and I've got this weird little rash thing on my arm as well, which I'm not too sure if it's an allergy thing, if it's a flipping heat thing. Regardless, I'm fighting. I'm fighting for my life out here. So the last thing I need is for the sun to come through. So apologies for those of you who are watching this via the YouTubes and cannot see my face. You probably can see my glasses. You might see my teeth. But you won't see much else in this darkness. But for those of you listening, you have the pleasure of hearing my dulcet tones. So I was just recently checking out a live stream from Lyrical Lemonade. You know who Lyrical Lemonade are, right? It's that YouTube channel that kid runs where he records music videos for a lot of prominent up and coming artists. I think he'd made legendary videos for like the likes of like Juice WRLD, Tentacion when they were both alive, and it's just generally been tapped into that sort of thing. He's a really good producer. I think his name is Cole Bennett, if I'm not mistaken. Cole Bennett, the kid is like, white kid, wears Birkenstocks all the time. I think has a really good eye when it comes to directing. He also does these freestyle series now, which I really enjoy too. I think he might have directed a Drake video with Lil Yachty, if I'm not mistaken. The one where it's all like bubbly and loads of really bright colors. So he knows what he's doing. So I guess he's also got a festival. Everyone has their own festival now, it seems like. I think it makes sense for Lyrical Lemonade. I'm kind of surprised thinking of it now loud. I'm kind of surprised that No Jumper don't have their own festival because they kind of cater to a certain demographic. It may not be the music that you're into, but there's a lot of kids out there that like to listen to SoundCloud adjacent music. There's like a younger scene of kids coming out of like Detroit, Memphis, Atlanta, New York, even LA that are doing some big things, and some of these kids have got huge followings. Like I think of Nine Vicious, I think of Skate Star, I think of Tazs. There's a bunch of these kids out there who a lot of other kids listen to, and those are their new heroes. Those are the contemporary young thugs, for lack of a better term. So it's kind of cool to see that happening. So anyway, long story less long, I'm checking out this live stream from Lyrical Lemonade called Summer Smash, Summer Spesh, Summer something. And I have to be honest, man. I have to be honest. It wasn't the greatest. I was thinking to myself, rah, man, these kids don't really get to see or enjoy good live performances. This might also be the reason why a lot of those kids who are maybe Gen Z and younger are still so obsessed with people like Ye, right? They probably weren't around, or they probably weren't born when Ye was at his pomp. But because he's one of the only kind of artists who performs. What I mean by that is like there's no backing track. He's up there on stage. You can hear all the pantings and out of breathness of his voice and shit. You can hear him enunciating every fucking word. It's a complete instrumental playing underneath him with maybe the hook on top, right? Maybe the chorus, so he can not kind of lose his place. But for the most part, he's performing like an artist would from a band or something, right? At least the lead singer of a band would, which is for some reason uncommon now in hip hop. It wasn't in the past. I think if you watch older videos of rappers performing at like Glastonbury and shit, you'll see a bunch of rappers performing with no backing track. But I don't know what shifted when it happened that suddenly hip hop artists would invite DJs on their sets, and the DJ would just play their record that they have already out there, and just take away the mids, take away the highs, which can sometimes take away a lot of the vocals. But it's not a lot, it's not all of it, and you can if you're paying attention, it's still quite prominent. So I'm not really too sure why that was the case. But either way, that show, that festival, Summer Splash, Summer Sesh, was pretty shitty. I skipped through the first day streaming, and first thing I noticed is that wow, it's also a lot harder. And I think people like myself give them credit, but I think the wider public do need to. A lot of credit needs to be given to platforms like Whore, for lack of example, Boiler Room, Coachella, who every year are able to stream the entirety of their festival, whatever, without a hitch. Because that first stream I watched on yesterday, that features some kids and shit, it was dropping in and out, you know, at the best bits. It was dropping in and out. The message wasn't stable, so that kind of gave me an understanding of like, oh, it must be pretty hard to live stream a festival, even though the kid that's running it is like, you know, tech savvy. I'm assuming he's got an entire team that kind of know what they're doing. Even they're having struggles to kind of run this event properly. We've had it stopping, you know, for a long period of time, and it looking like they're ignoring here, and it stops again, and it stops again. It's fucking annoying. But the quality of performance was really bad. The only person I saw that did mildly well was Trippie Redd, and I'm not the biggest fan of Trippie Redd, but he was the only person that did okay-ish because he was like croning into the mic. I didn't really hear much use of a backing track, at least on the track that I heard him on. He sounded quite good, and just, you know, overall has a very unbothered king vibe about him, you know. So I kind of like that as well. So big up him. And then the other thing I was also thinking about was this. This is probably not the best thing to share on Tazz because it's something that I usually should, you know, say for a flipping random show. But I thought I had to share it because I think it kind of relates a little bit to my experiences that I've had coming up, doing parties and shit, organizing events, and just generally doing things with other people. So this is a post courtesy of the Fire and the Kids subreddit. Big up them. The title of the post says, Callen and Schaub on shaky grounds and Chin still hasn't moved into a new place yet. So if you don't know, just to give you a brief background, the Fire and the Kid has now moved to Austin, Texas. Brendan and Bryan Callen, or Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen, have both moved to Austin, Texas. Some people are hypothesizing the reason why they moved is because Brendan wanted to get closer to Rogan, reintegrate himself to Rogan's inner circle, maybe get invited to more solo pods and shit. Other people like myself were maybe hypothesizing that it just had to do with him maybe trying to restart his comedy career, or the last hypothesis for me was that maybe the money's running out and he can't afford to like live in flipping wherever they were in previously in LA, which would make a lot of sense considering the cost of living there is pretty high anyway, regardless. So it must be worse now with the money going down. So that was the plan. Now it's turned out a bit weird because for whatever reason, even though they announced that they were moving to Texas for a long time ago, I think maybe like a couple of months, few months, Chin, their producer, seems to be the last person to know things or to act on them. So he knew a long time ago they were going to move. Maybe he didn't get the right communication as in when people are going to buy houses, but he should have already made the adjustments to go. He didn't, and now he is somewhat homeless, living in Airbnbs for the time being until he gets a proper crib, which I think is really heinous because Airbnbs after a certain time, or all the time, depending which one you choose, are fairly expensive. So making him pay $800 for like 3 nights is just, you know, it's just doesn't make any sense. So that's what's happening at the moment. They've got a flipping producer out there who doesn't have a permanent residence, and the podcast hosts themselves are sometimes, you know, openly doubting their decision to move in the first place because it's full of so many strange people, I guess, when you go to a regular shop and you're a bougie person like Brendan is. But let's play the clip anyway of Callen and Schaub on shaky grounds and still hasn't moved in yet.
What's the studio like over there now? Are you guys done with it?
No, not even close.
Oh, okay. I saw
Brian's
the clips.
no
They look
fucking
cool.
help. Yeah, it's cool, but
yeah, Brian's a big help, right?
And that first point they're making is like Bryan Callen, who's the co-host of The Fire and the Kid, who's also considerably older than Brendan. I think Bryan Callen might be like 60. Brendan might be in his 40s. Bryan Callen's like he's been in the Hollywood industry for a long time, well-established person before his cancellations and stuff. But it's funny how for whatever reason, how they delegate or how they split the task in terms of who does what on the show is very much weighted heavily more on Brendan. Like he does a lot more for the show than Callen does. Callen just turns up and records. He doesn't probably even hit record, you know? He just turns up and gets his flipping hair done and then boom, is ready to go. That is all he does. It's pretty insane how that is somewhat allowed. And then of course, when it comes to Callen, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the situation that I went through when I was running this party, where I made a mistake actually, and I think we both did. Both parties made a mistake in that we didn't speak candidly and honestly and openly about the tasks that we wanted to do or didn't want to do, or what we thought would best serve or suit the quote-unquote business. Like who can do, you know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. You know? But for some reason we didn't have that conversation. And then of course towards the end of our time together, when the owner of the bar unfortunately was, you know, I guess subtly playing us against each other, and we're also looking for an excuse to probably, you know, say F you, it happened, you know. That's a really unfortunate side of those type of situations because there was no communication in between. There was no like honest convo about, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You need to pull your weight as well, respectfully. What can you do? That doesn't exist. So I'm not surprised that Brendan's a little bit pissy when Callen's name's mentioned because Callen's in Jamaica or something for 15 days, while Callen's having to fucking sweat his balls. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Beat him up. Beat him up.
I'd like to.
But wait, so and it's a whole. And what do you do there? Fighter and a kid.
Find kid shop show. Then below's the drive fast all gas. Like I have 2 car lifts coming in. I'll be able to fit like 8 cars in here.
Ooh.
By the way, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Surely at this point it's fairly obvious that the main breadwinner, the main money earner for Thick Boy Enterprises, Thick Boy World Nation Entertainment, whatever, has to be the pods. That's the main source of income revenue. From how much they give him outright to the fast payouts and shit, you have to imagine that those are the best places or ever to go get your flipping hair done. It must be. But I'm wondering why he's dedicating specifying so much time and room for the cars when the pod itself is the main breadwinner. Like, especially the Fire and the Kid. That's probably the thing that keeps the entire studio lights on when they're on. Splitting your time between that and the cars downstairs is a waste of time. I also personally would have put the studio down at the bottom and then have some sort of mezzanine, have some sort of table lamp to kind of light up and shit. But that would have been what I would do. But yeah, I find it odd. The decision choices. I guess maybe in his head, because he's got 8 cars allegedly he can put into his garage, he'd rather put the 8 cars into the garage, have them in the studio to make his studio look more badass, than drive like one shitty car. Maybe that's his kind of thinking, man. I don't know. Either way, it's fucking redacted. It's fucking redacted. Talking about redacted, let's talk a little bit about the Premier League fixtures. The Premier League fixtures just got released the other day. United fans like myself were fairly nervous about when they first dropped, but now I've had some time to meditate and to kind of think about these fixtures. It's not too shabby. Not gonna lie, it's not too freaking shabby. So this is courtesy of the PremierLeague.com. It's got all the fixtures here for all the teams. This is a list of fixtures specifically for United. So the opening day Premier League fixture for United is going to be Sunday the 17th of August at 4:30 against Arsenal at home. Then we play Fulham at home. Then we play Burnley away. And then we play City at home on the 13th. So those are our 4 games, or 5, right? Those are our 5 games where we have to kind of battle for every single thing. And maybe we might have a chance. Maybe there could be a chance. We have to wait and see, innit? We have to legitimately wait and see. But I think the fixture list isn't too shabby. Like those first 4, 5, whatever opening matches, I think are definitely winnable. Although we're facing a lot of strong opposition in the beginning, like we got Arsenal first game of the season, then we got Man City on the 13th of September, then we got Sunday 20th of September. I don't know what that one is, but regardless, I think all these games are quite winnable. I think if anything, we could set ourselves a good base to kind of progress from by beating Arsenal at home. We usually do perform pretty well against them at home anyway, and I think we'll be good this time around. And it'll obviously be a test of him. What's his face? Of Aaron's metal as well. Do you know what I mean? Like how he rates himself, that he's constantly injured like that. That would be flipping amazing to kind of see and check out. But all of this is going to be in vain if we don't sign players. All of this is going to be in vain if we don't sign players. No signing of players means that it's unlikely we're going to do anything in the league. We can't think just signing Matthias Cunha is suddenly going to change this fucking team into boom, world-class stars. I don't think so. No way is that going to happen. We haven't seen probably enough as well in what competition. There's so much time. Too much in that respect. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really eager to see who leaves, to be honest. As weird as it is about the fucking formation and shit, I'm really eager to see if they decide to pull the plug on players like Luke Shaw, who are siphoning off a ton of money from the club, always injured, and has never reached their potential. I'm gonna say probably never will. You know what I mean? Probably never will reach the potential. It kind of is what it is. Oh, what's that? Matalago. Okay, Matalago. What is that? Some sort of flower or tree situation going on there. So big up Blood Club Matalago, and big up United. Fingers crossed we get it sorted. Next, we got another pretty bad news here, courtesy of Unknown T and TMC page regarding his chain. Unknown T, the drill rapper, shared with fans that the UK police confiscated his chain after he landed in Gatwick and classified it as a concealed weapon. Now, most of you guys will know that Unknown T has this really cool looking T chain that he's had for a long time, to be fair. This is not a new thing. He's had this chain for a long time. It's absolutely beautiful, I think, in terms of a piece. I still think Central C probably has the best pendant on the chain, and even the whole chain itself with Queen Elizabeth's head on it. But I do quite like Unknown T's chain too. So let's hear the video where he kind of described the situation and what occurred, and then I'll give you what I think, my analysis on the situation. But this is the clip of Unknown T getting questioned, I guess, and get stripped of his possession, I guess, at some airport. And take the sound off so you can't hear it. There he's talking.
I TikTok on my mum's life, yeah, bruv. Like, how the fuck can the jigs take my T chain? Like, my pendant. Like, bro, man's been going LA, New York, going back and forth, Toronto, all these places. Man's never had these issues. See, when I touched Gatwick Airport, the two inner fam, like, touching up my chain. Donny had no respect as well, fam. Like, usually they have courtesy, like they can see it shining. They don't want to touch it too much. My man's touching her back, chatting about concealed weapon. Like, man's not even out here trying to fucking conceal shit. I done showed, man, fam. This is just a T chain that shows I'm Unknown T. You get it? It's pissing me off, bro. Like,
so obviously he's upset, which was completely understandable considering they took his chain. The one good thing about it is that they left the chain, sorry. They took the pendant, not the chain. But the chain is, the pendant itself is what makes the whole thing, right? It looks fucking sick, especially that big T. But some people are hypothesizing that it could be because inside of that T, there does contain some sort of like concealed knifey type of thing. That I think is just, I think the knife is more of I won't say a display thing, but I don't think it's meant to be something that you could even use. So I'm surprised that this was an issue. But it does look pretty sick, to be fair. The diamonds are dancing in this video, as you can see. The jeweler's got in his hand showing off the work that they did to produce this. It looks flipping sick, innit? It looks really, really, really cool. Let me see if they actually got an angle where we can see the inside sword thing. I'm not really too sure if we can see it. Where's the sword thing? I don't think we can see it. But anyway, they confiscated the whole T anyway, because I guess they thought it's a sharp object that maybe could hurt somebody, which is fucking crazy because as you can see from the video, it's definitely smoothed out the corners or rounded off the corners. There is no, it's probably quite impossible for you to pierce anybody's skin with that particular thing. Maybe if you really went hard on it, you could, but there's no way you can accidentally stab someone with that. It's not that deep. But I did love how he said that as soon as you touch Gatwick Airport, that's when the problem started. So if he goes to LA, he goes to Miami, he goes to New York, nothing happens, everything's cool. But the moment he comes back home, the moment he comes back to the home team, home country, the home of the haters, the capital of bad vibes, which is the UK and London, suddenly it changes a problem. Nowhere else is it a problem. Like you'd imagine, I would imagine for whatever reason, or maybe not for whatever reason, we know why, but I would imagine the TSA in the States is probably a lot stricter than us here in Europe and the UK. I'd imagine they don't let through anything that could be even slightly misinterpreted as a weapon. So for you to go around America, fly around from place to place and face no issues over there, but then come to the UK and then the police nab it off of you is so crazy, but very on point when it comes to describing how fucking weird and bizarre London is and why people say it's a home of what? Bad vibes. This kind of reminds me a little bit of some situation I had, because if I'm not mistaken, Unknown T's chain pendant, when he got confiscated, he can't get it back now. I think he's going to have to maybe prove that it's not, I don't know, he's going to have to do something to prove it, to get it back, but it's going to be quite a long process. And it reminds me a little bit of what happened to me and how shitty police can be. I remember one time, I forgot where I was actually. I think wherever I was the day before I DJ'd. So the day before I must have DJ'd somewhere in a bar or pub. Ironically enough, or unlucky for me, it must have been also one of those gigs where it was the first time I kind of got paid a decent amount. So I think it might have been over £200, maybe even £300 for this particular gig I played. I think I played like 4 hours or something somewhere. I got paid in cash. The pub or the bar gave me a invoice receipt thing. You know those kind of things where you transfer. So it's like a sheet. It's got like a red and yellow sheet underneath. You write wherever you write, and then it kind of transfers onto that paper. So I made one of those. The person gave me that kind of receipt to kind of show what happened. I wrote my name on it. But then I guess when I went somewhere, I forgot where I was at. Maybe it was at a club or something. I went somewhere and I must have lost the receipt. It drops out of my bag or my pocket somewhere. So unfortunately for me, when I got stopped and searched, and they looked through my things and they found, you know, a massive wad of cash, like 300 quid, they just assumed I was a dealer or something, which I'm obviously not. But then I couldn't have an invoice to show them, oh no, this is for my DJ. Even though I explained it to them and said, no, I just DJed yesterday, and I obviously took the cash and, you know, broke it down into tens when shit. They didn't believe me. They just thought I was a fucking dealer or something. And I didn't have the paper on me, so I was fucking pissed. Like, you don't understand how fucking furious I was that day, that I just completely gave away 300 quid because I fucking lost the receipt. And obviously the police took it off me, which was fucking crazy. So I can only imagine how much worse it must look on NFT, because that pendant looks worth way more than 300 quid. Let me tell you that. The way those diamonds are dancing, that pendant is worth way more, most likely, than 300 quid. It looks fucking phenomenal. So thoughts and feelings go out to him. Honest mistake, I think. No big issue. I don't think he needs to be blamed for anything. I just clocked, by the way, the bit on the pendant that's a link says a U, and then the T, obviously. That's pretty sick. I don't think he needs to be blamed for anything. I think these type of mistakes happen. It's definitely a learning experience for sure. You'd imagine he's not going to repeat the same mistake again. I wonder if he'll go and try and get it remade. Is that possible with the jeweler, or I don't know what happens, but let's see what happens. Anyway. Let's see what happens. Big up him. Big up, big up him. Continuing on, quickly want to mention this as well. I saw this on socials. I forgot to talk about it regarding Drake posting a picture of his wardrobe. Now, I'm not too sure if this is legit, or if this is just him, or this is just a classification thing, or maybe this is him, I don't know, in the process of filing everything or taking pictures of everything for a book that's coming out. I don't know what's going on. But if you can't see the picture, it's a picture of a full-size courtroom, which looks like the inside of Drake's house in Toronto, because I think I've seen clips of him playing there, so I remember the black walls. It looks like that same fucking basketball court. And inside it are rows and rows of clothes. Like he's got, I don't know how many rows, how many racks of clothes there are here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's like 11 racks of clothes just dotted around the entire floor lengths, you know, of the fucking basketball court itself. And it made me think to myself, like, I wonder if this abundance of clothes that Drake has, because obviously he's fucking Drake, is maybe the reason why he dresses a bit weird and not that great. Because he has a lot of hit and misses. I wonder if it's because he probably refuses to have a stylist, but then he picks everything by himself. And I'd imagine as well, as, you know, forgive me for being a flipping kid or fashion kid as Joe, but I would believe, or I'd be of the thinking that most likely having this many options doesn't probably encourage good outfit selection. I'd imagine if you have like a basketball court full size of flipping, no, if you had a basketball size court collection of clothes, your ability to find the right outfit out of all of those is probably quite low to sort it through, unless you decide to do what I would probably do, which is spend half a day just sorting through the entire thing and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, put it in the shower, put that way. That would be flipping awesome. But, you know, in this regard, I think this particular options will probably give you more headache than what it's worth. I think there's a lot to be said for having the ability to own, you know, a crisp white tee, some jeans, and some boots. You can't really go wrong with that particular look. So let's see what he's giving when it comes out. Let's see what it's giving when it comes out. And I'm curious to see if this turns into a book, courtesy of Blood Clot Champagne Pappy. Does that turn into a book? Does that turn into a book? I am very very eager to see. Next on the list, we got this. Next on the list, we have this. Where is it? Whoopsie, wrong thing. Next on the list, we got this. This is courtesy of some random girl that I found on social. So please forgive me, I don't know your name. But essentially, this young Asian lady is speaking about how difficult it is to date nowadays. And you hear that a lot on the timeline. You hear a lot on the timeline. A lot of these young people complaining, or people in general, not young people in general complaining that the dating scene out there is a bit tough. It's a bit difficult to find somebody worthwhile. And maybe the proliferance and the increase in reality TV shows about finding love is a good indication of it. Maybe that's a real recession indicator, right? That Love Island's spreading all across the world, all these kind of things. Other romantic shows are coming to the UK. Maybe it's kind of proof that there's a lot of people out there that of need of love, right? Of need of some loving. So this girl kind of does this TikTok thing and kind of explains why she's where she's at. So let's hear what she has to say. Let's hear what she has to say.
Tell you a secret? You can't tell anyone though. I've been on over 50 first dates, and somehow it doesn't feel like I'm any closer to finding my person. Also, hi.
50 first dates sounds insane, innit? To be fair, innit? Going on 50 first dates, 50 different occasions where you're engaging in fucking small talk. How are you? What do you do? Like, come on, bro. 50.
I'm Lauren, and just like you, I'm just out here trying to do my best. And now every date is starting to feel the same. Surface level questions, polite laughter, and then that quiet disappointment on the way home. And after a while, you do start to spiral. Is it your...
The thing about her as well, it's not even like she's ugly or anything, right? Not that she's the most beautiful woman in the world, but still, I think when it comes to dating, as long as you're not, below the threshold, you're going to be fine. She's also not super fat, so I'm sure it's going to open up her abilities to attract a lot of men across the board. But the Simey flipping, if it was me and I went on 50 first dates, the first thing that would come to my mind would be like, what am I doing wrong? I wouldn't say the scene is wrong. I wouldn't say what's wrong with men. I wouldn't do all that sort of shit. I'd be more worried about what am I sending? What message am I giving across? What type of vibes am I emitting that's making 50 people who are also looking for love or situationship or whatever not want to progress things on with me? Like, what's going on? That's what I'd be more worried about. And then, of course, if I didn't get any answers there, I might then decide to be like, hey, you know what? No settling, Be the non-settling king and preach that kind of doctrine. Maybe that might be the answer, but I don't know. If it was me and I was her, I'll be definitely looking introspectively to find out why people don't want me.
Standards, your looks, are you too much? Not enough? Some people treat dating like a numbers game. Keep swiping, keep showing up, and eventually you win. Others go on one date and end up married 6 months later. Meanwhile, you're stuck wondering if you're doing it wrong, or if it's just easier to give up and protect your peace. I guess this...
Maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe she comes across really annoying in real life. Maybe she's high maintenance. Maybe there's something. But I'd love to hear from the 50 men that went on the first date with her, what they thought and why they didn't continue things on. Why they didn't try to pursue her. That'll be the more interesting one, to find out what their things are. And maybe see if there's like 1 minute worth of sport and a single app. Then maybe this is the one. But I'm curious to see what she says here at the end.
This is dating in your 30s. It's not like when you met someone in college and your biggest worry was matching class schedules. Now it feels like everyone's carrying something. And
but to be fair as well, and again, I speak of this, and I say this as being somebody that creates YouTube videos myself. If you're a dude and you're into her, wouldn't you be a little bit put off if you saw her walking down the street holding a camera, recording herself, vlog style? Wouldn't that kind of put you off a little bit? I understand we got to do content, but wouldn't you get annoyed if you saw her doing an IRL stream at night somewhere? Like, wouldn't that kind of piss you off? I don't know. So you gotta be careful what you wish for.
dating becomes less about feeling butterflies with the one and more about figuring out whose baggage you're willing to carry besides your own. After so many dates, it feels like I've been collecting...
I bet she must do that fucking meerkat thing, innit? With that girl. Remember that black girl that was in the restaurant and she was trying to make guys pay for her dinner? I think it was like a soft life tutorial thing. I bet she must do that bears when she's in the park, innit? Just hoping her Mr. Big comes along so she can like blow a kiss that person for a while. Man, that was a diva. Such a diva. Continuing on, let's see what more she has to say.
dating war stories, like weird little souvenirs from people I barely knew. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if I've gotten so good at being alone that I've forgotten how to let someone in. Still, I don't think there's really a right or wrong way to do it. I think dating is just harder now, and maybe dating apps are made to be deleted, but not because you found the one, but because you remember that meeting someone isn't like pulling a slot machine or clocking in hours at work, hoping it finally pays off. Because love isn't a reward for effort. And whether you find your person tomorrow or years from now, just remember that your life is full. You are still enough. And maybe
I don't necessarily think this is a problem with dating apps. Like, maybe it's a complex issue that doesn't just require a simple answer. Maybe there is something to be said for the popularity in apps like OnlyFans. Maybe that's taking guys' attention away from women who like this, who maybe want to find somebody they can settle down with. Guys are more prone now to stay indoors, play video games online, follow their favorite, streamer on there. Maybe promote some clothes and shit that makes you want to stay inside, maybe playing sports or online, offline, say some shit. Sports betting is a big thing. There's loads of things that probably, I guess preventing her from meeting somebody she's into. But if you're perfect, if your personality is great, if you don't have any baggage, then maybe the next thing to look at is settling down or settling in general when it comes to criteria of what kind of guys you're into. Because, I guess I'd say, judging by this Asian girl's looks, like she's into white dudes anyway. Maybe you need to kind of just adjust your barometer of like what you'd like, or what type of, because unfortunately, there's a lot of there's a lot of people out there that don't really know that sometimes settling isn't a bad thing. Maybe it's different for women, because I guess maybe men in some respects, you always kind of have to, maybe because a man, you don't really have a choice a lot of the time when it comes to mating or whatever, dating. You kind of get what you're given. Women kind of always have a choice. From the time they probably hit puberty, they always had a choice in terms of who they want to pick in terms of a guy and shit. So that makes it different. But then I guess it's kind of, maybe it switches in older age. Maybe it switches in older age because women get older and they start to get worried about not having kids. So then maybe then is when they decide to settle and be like, you know what? I want somebody who can hold me down, somebody who can look after X and Y Junior while I'm going through what I'm going through. So I definitely understand that part of it, I definitely understand that part of it. And everything else that makes sense of it. But I definitely, if I was her, would look introspectively and think to myself, what am I doing that is turning people away? What am I doing that is making guys not want to be with me? What am I doing where 50 first dates aren't enough? Like, because there must be something going on that she's not telling us about, which is why I'd love to hear from the actual drivers of the car itself or the other car to find out what the hell happened, because that ruined everything. That ruined fucking everything. I swear to God it did. Big up Tesla as well. What is this one? Let's move on. The next thing I always want to talk about as well was this story. I'm sure some of you guys remember this, but this was courtesy. This happened, I think, a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a few months ago. But essentially, this girl went viral for having sex with an inmate in prison. The video was shared all over the place. People were going fucking crazy over it because it was a very, let's say, graphic and detailed video. And unfortunately, she got arrested and caught and sentenced in prison. I think she originally got like 15 months in prison. And I think when I was originally covering the story, I was like, oh, it's a real shame, because before she got arrested, I think I saw a story where it said that she'd become a Christian. She was going to move back home to Portugal or something to live with her parents or focus on her studies. Like, there was something happening. So essentially she had a very panicked, sort of like traumatic experience, regarding everything that went down. Because I'm assuming, it wasn't that difficult. But yeah, this headline, courtesy of the Mirror, updates us on her situation. This girl has been released from prison. She got released early as well, which is kind of crazy. I'm not too sure if this is in due part to what's happening in the UK, where the government has voted to kind of release a bunch of criminals early, or if this is because her crime that she committed wasn't that serious. I'm not too sure what's going on, but allegedly I read that he's being flipping released soon. So pick up, everybody involved in that. But this particular story is courtesy of the Mirror. The headline is: married ex-prison officer who had sex with inmate 3 months after jailed. Linda De Souza, 31, from Fulham, South West London, has been jailed after being filmed having sex with an inmate. By the way, I love how the Mirror is saying married, as if that's important. It doesn't matter if she's married or not. The fact that she did that in the first place is the crazy thing, right? Not the bit that she's married. You're trying to make us clutch our pearls, the mirror. A married former prison officer who was jailed after being filmed having sex with an inmate has now been freed, just 5 months into being sentenced. Linda de Souza Abreu, 31, was given a 15-month sentence, while the video she shared on social media and has now been used against her role. No? What did I say? Sorry, go one more time. She was given 15-month sentence after the video was shared on social media, and she has now been released after serving just 5 months. A police investigation was launched after the officers were made aware of the footage inside HMP Wandsworth. The mother of one was arrested and pleaded guilty to misconduct in public office at Isleworth Crown Court, and she appeared at the same court on January 6, wearing a grey suit, white t-shirt, where she gave a sentence and told how would serve a custody with the rest of it on license. So it's not the best type of freedom, you know. She's gonna have to check in a bit and whatever else it may be, but it's better than obviously being in prison, and maybe it gives her opportunity to maybe go on pods and share her story. Because that's one thing that's kind of heartbreaking. When I read after it got leaked, she kind of went into hiding. She kind of felt shameful about it. I think she popped up a couple times on TikTok in 2 different accounts, and they swiftly went away. So I think it's kind of good to see, because I think if this woman was in America, and she did the same thing, I think she would be lauded and celebrated. But the fact that she did it in the UK, the reactions are the same, and no one really gives a shit, really. You know, it's a strange thing to see. Like, no one really gives a shit. But I think if she was in America, she definitely would be winning. Let's scroll down. That's obviously a little screenshot of the video. If you can see that, I'm sure some of you guys can use your imagination and fill in the blanks as to what the rest of it looks like. She was also entitled to a reduction of 95 days after it was revealed that she has been wearing an electric tag for 190 days. Following her release, ex-Met police officer Peter Blixey was critical of her release and told The Sun, "This is a shocking example of such justice, where it's the deterrent is sentences and time served after as short as this." The only problem I have with the sentencing and the quick releases, what would be the stakes? What would be the impression if this was the other way around, or if this was a black person? Like, what would happen? I'd love to see that. Like, how would the world work, you know? If this person wasn't there and that person was there. I would love it. Flipping much. During her sentencing, Judge Martin Edmonds Casey had been told that De Souza, "You engaged in sexual activity with a prisoner that compromised your role as an officer and was misconduct which undermines discipline within the prison and puts fellow officers at an increased risk. You knew the conduct was forbidden, and forbidden for good reason." And the mad thing is, she started a trend, you know. A bunch of other women end up getting arrested and convicted for the same thing. Some of them had kids with these officers. I don't know what's going on. I think I read somewhere actually that one of the issues that might have kind of birthed this new trend is that the police, the prisons in general, are quite understaffed. So because they're understaffed, a lot of people that are training to get into are not being pulled hard enough, you know. So I think that's a good thing. That's honestly a flipping good thing, that although people could probably use their voice, they'd rather just use their hands and shit or whatever else it may be to kind of get out of that flipping situation. But like I said, she definitely ended up inspiring a bunch of women to decide to do the same thing. So let's see how long this, you know, freedom lasts. Let's see if all these flipping UK blog pages embrace her. Does she go back to OnlyFans? Does she decide to get a regular job and run away to Portugal after her sentencing and whatever? Her tag is expired. I'm curious to see how she handles this, because, again, if this country wasn't so puritanical and fucking fuddy-duddy, she'd make a lot of money here, but I don't really see her long-term future here. I think people will just be mocking her and taking her piss, and she doesn't look like she can handle it. So maybe it's for the best that she goes abroad, you know what I mean? And tries to get her life reacquainted there. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it freaking goes. Okie dokie. So let's get on to the main part of the show. The main part of the show that I want to discuss is the Keinemusik Gunnersbury event that happened, this past weekend. I'm sure some of you that were around kind of saw the situation of what occurred and shit. But I think that's the main thing that I kind of want to cover here today with you guys. If I can get it up on here. Why isn't it there? Is it not there? Oh, where is it? I don't know where it is. Okay, cool. Bear with me 1 second as I get this up. Don't know why I don't have it up for some reason, but I do not. Okay, cool. Let's go Keinemusik. Where is it? Why don't I have this up here? I don't know. But for some reason I do not have it up. Okay, cool. Let's just do it manually then. Let's do it manually. Let's just do it manually. Hopefully I can get it up on here. It's somewhere down here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got it now. There we go. So let me see if I can get this up on here. Bear with me 1 second. It's not that one, is it this? Maybe it's this one as well. Why did I delete it? Why did I take it all down? I'm not even sure why I took it all down. But anyway, regardless, the Keinemusik event happened in Gunnersbury Park, right? So I wanted to speak a little bit about it because some of the reception or the reaction around it hasn't been that great. Has not been that great whatsoever. So let's kind of go through and see what exactly went down. So as most of you guys will know, Keinemusik are an incredible, I guess, production trio, DJ trio, who mainly play like, what would you call it, like Afro house, tribal house, amapiano type of shit. 2 white guys and a mixed race dude from Germany, and they've gone from like, you know, they've become global superstars now. I read somewhere actually recently that Adam Port is going to have like a channel, a radio station on the new Grand Theft Auto when that eventually comes out. They've done events with, you know, AP. They've done events in Ibiza together, loads of different places. So they are fucking goated when it comes to the shit that they do, innit? Like they know exactly wild one when it comes to their thing. But I guess over the years, I've gone to a bunch of their shows, and I have noticed that because they become incredibly popular, the production of the shows, the whatever of the shows, hasn't been the greatest. Not gonna lie, has not been the greatest. So I've purposely, similar to maybe Innovision shows, have decided to stay away when it comes to attending anything regarding Keinemusik. I just don't go. I'd rather not break my heart. I'd rather not be in a position where I'm like, you know, having to flip and fight for the fucking right to party and shit. So I just rather just not go and let other people who maybe enjoy that sort of stuff go. So this event recently happened in London in Gunnersbury Park, where Keinemusik put on an event, and I think they were working in conjunction with Crank Brothers, who are, I guess, a production company, events company, rave promoters, who've been doing a lot of cool shit here in London for a long time, and they decided to kind of help them out putting that shit together. And for the most part, I think it went well, but one of the main issues people had was the production overall, or maybe the crowd control. And a bunch of people on the flipping Reddit and a bunch of people on the Instagram comments have been complaining about how poorly the event was run, and the fact that, you know, Keinemusik didn't really seem to care about the overall production of the show and how it went down. A lot of people are really upset. So I'm going to go through some of these accounts and these reports to kind of give you an idea of what went down, and then maybe through the power of conversation we can maybe figure out a way that they can maybe improve the situation for next time. Because unfortunately, although they are taking the piss with how that gunnery event went down, one thing that we know for certain is that they're going to get way more chances to probably fix it, because they're just, you know, they're that big of a deal. Someone else is going to come along and give them an opportunity to do another show, especially in London. So I'm all but certain that this isn't going to be the last time that we're going to see, you know, Keinemusik in the headlines for all the wrong reasons concerning an event, because there's going to be way more events like this coming forward. So let's actually play some clips. There's actually a clip here that I uploaded on my own little thing that I pulled from Instagram from this guy, an influencer, who went there, and he kind of, you know, gave us a little bit of an impression of what the vibe was over there at Gunnersbury Park. So let's play that influencer's clip to give you an idea of what the vibe was at Gunnersbury Park during the Keinemusik event. So this is it, this kid here. His name is IGLUBKOWSKI. So Iglubuski or IG Lubuski. So I'm assuming it might be Polish or something, but regardless, it's a pretty cool video he put together, kind of showing you what happened, right? Little mini vlog. So first things first. First things first that I want to talk about and kind of get out the way. Let's start with the positives, right? Let's start with the positives. So this is a post courtesy of the Keinemusik crew page. I'm not sure if Keinemusik crew is controlled or handled by somebody in Keinemusik, or if it's an unofficial account set up by fans, but Keinemusik kind of embrace it because it's the main place where they kind of post all info regarding Keinemusik. But regardless, this is a post from Keinemusik where they kind of posted, I think it's the only one, right, which shows the whole London situation. And the first thing to kind of say in terms of positives is I like the sign. I don't like the word underground, but I like the overall sign. I like that they kind of incorporated the London Underground sign into their balloon, you know, peace sign, whatever thing they've got hanging above their heads. In different shows, they have different interpretations of the cloud that they use, branding towards in terms of the DJ booth or DJ situation on the stage. And I quite like it because I feel like at least they're investing some money into the production of the show and trying to make it more than just like a black table, you know, on a stage somewhere. They're trying to make it an experience visually to kind of capture, of course, no, visually to kind of, you know, enjoy as you're there. And of course, it serves as a good fodder for social media if you're going to capture on your phone and shit. So I think I really do like that. I'm sure hopefully there's another angle here. Again, you can see another angle showing the sign itself above the DJs as they're playing. I think that's really cool. I also don't mind, this is going to be counterproductive and kind of go against everything that I kind of stand for, but I kind of don't mind that Keinemusik are super on the whole turning a DJ booth into a VIP box. I personally hate it across the board. I think it's really annoying and cringy and shit. And I think it kind of maybe fosters the wrong kind of attitude. I think Raven should be a somewhat, Raven should be kind of like a great equalizer. Like we're all the same underneath that roof in that field. Doesn't matter where we come from, what's our color and creed, what's in our bank accounts. We're all the same. We're all here to celebrate whoever's playing music in general, vibes, So I think sometimes having these VIP spots, these unofficial VIP spots, whatever it may be, but I think they were VIP spots because I'm sure they're selling tickets for that section. It can create like a weird disconnect and division, separation, a hierarchy between ravers, which I don't think needs to exist. But there are some places, a good example being DC10, a good example being Keinemusik events. Another good example might be like deck mantle, boiler room situation. There are some situations, some places where having people behind you playing or standing ravers and shit, turning it into an unofficial thing, VIP spot, is actually good for the overall ambience of the rave. But I think in terms of branding and image, what Keinemusik are about, I think it works because they're known for having like cool, usually young, hot girls behind them. And I think it works well for them, right? Everyone's kind of smoking cigarettes. Everyone's got a cool little t-shirt on, you know, doing their little thing. So it kind of works for the overall image. So I don't really mind the people standing in the booth going crazy. It's a bit annoying that everybody in the booth, there's probably more people in the booth with their phones out than people in the fucking crowd, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And again, another picture of the DJs here behind the booth. You got Adam Paul, you got Rampa, you got Anmi there smiling, having a good time. Everyone in the crowd seems like they're having a good time too, and person judging by his pictures. Although the crowd is very Caucasian, right? There's a lot of white people in this crowd. Look at this girl, she's trying to put her cutest model face on and shit. I also like the fact that I saw a bunch of people with silk scarves, because that's like an Adam Paul, maybe a Rampa thing, or mostly Adam Paul. It's kind of a style he used to do, a kind of a babushka style where you put the hat, you put the silk scarf underneath, on top of your hat, underneath your head, on your head, sorry, and then you put your hat on top of the fucking silk scarf and have the silk scarf kind of popping out of the corners, or you'd wear the silk scarf like a little cravat type of thing around your neck and shit. And Adam Paul's been kind of famous for that look. So everybody that turned up there, kind of similar to those Pitbull performed recently in the UK, in London anyway. I think he performed in O2. And it was really funny to see a bunch of people get on the trains. I saw them earlier, or when it happened actually, I think last week, dressed up as Pitbull. People were buying like bald caps and like suit jackets or white vests and shit, or really tight button-up shirts, and heading over to Pitbull rave. So that was kind of cool. And of course, we've seen it with the Beyonce concerts, everyone dressing up like a cowboy. So it's kind of cool to see people embrace, or like, you know, paying homage, I guess, giving Adam Paul his flowers, or Keinemusik flowers just aesthetically. I saw a bunch of people in the crowd wearing Keinemusik merch, a bunch of people dressed up like Rampa, a bunch of people dressed up like Adam Paul. So that's pretty cool. Another positive there. And again, the scale of the show. To put on a show like that, I don't know what the attendance or quantity, you know, must have been there, but it must have been in the high thousands. To put something like that on and to have it run, not without a hitch, but it still ran, is very impressive. Very fucking impressive. To put that scale of a production on is it's no easy task. So big up Keinemusik and krankbrother for that one. Again, loads of the imageries are kind of cool as well from the event. You got to see exactly what went down. Gives you an idea of what happened. Gives you loads of FOMO for the next event and shit. Now you got Adam Port doing another style now. I guess he's changed it, where he's now wearing his silk scarf across his body, like a bag or something. I'm not too sure if that's it is, or if that's like a way he tries to hold his bag. I'm not too sure, but maybe we'll see a bunch of ravers starting to do that now going forward. And again, another angle of the crowd and the stage there. That's pretty cool. I didn't see that, by the way. There's like a little bit of shade here. There's a cover over the DJ booth. I didn't really notice that before. I wonder if that's actually shade or if that's to protect the DJ booth from rain. But it is slightly tinted. That's pretty cool. That must have been nice for the DJs. Not good for the ravers because you're standing there and look at the sky. Pure blue. No cloud in sight. So people were getting absolutely burned on that dance floor. Which I think some people probably enjoyed. A girl there holding an Arsenal top. Big up her. You got Ramper with a Keinemusik shirt. I guess this is a Black Sabbath inspired one that probably hasn't come out yet. And this is really cool too. He's got a pair of headphones from his company called, I forgot how you pronounce it. Is it Teal or Teely? Headphones are meant to be coming out soon. Hopefully when they do come out, I'm going to definitely get a pair. They look like a good upgrade on the standard HG25s. But this looks like a custom made pair with chrome hearts. Purple velvet sort of thing going on there. Horsehair, I don't know what's going on there. And then the crosses are some sort of like hairy brown material. But it looks pretty cool. So he's got a chrome hearts collab on his headphones. We've got another angle. This is really cool, by the way. I just spotted this. So at the back of the stage, there are these massive square. Are they nets? I think there's sheets, right? I don't think this is LEDs, but they look like really huge, big squares. And in each square there's a letter, and it spells out London. That's fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm assuming when they go to different countries, it will spell different things. So London, NYC, Berlin. That is pretty fucking cool. Not sure how that would work. Or what that adds to the show. Maybe, I don't know if it lights up inside. Don't think it does. Just a kind of a cool backdrop, but the scale of it is pretty huge. Because that sign above the DJ booth is pretty massive. But look how high and look how long these fucking numbers are. Oh, sorry, the letters. So that's another really cool thing that they did. Another angle of the DJ booth. Ami and Rampa there, hugging and kissing, and loads of white people going fucking crazy. And yeah, can't be mad, innit? I don't like the jorts, by the way. I hate the fucking long jean shorts everyone thinks doing. But again, I ain't mad at it. Now, what people were mad about is what people are commenting on the comments. So I've said all the good things, all the positive, tried to be as positive as I can. Now let's get into some of the hate, because people did not like it whatsoever. So this is courtesy of somebody here in the comments who says the following. Honestly, I was looking forward to Keinemusik in London, but musically it felt underwhelming. So not even production wise, they're complaining about the music. Interesting. Which I think a lot of people complain about. I think I've heard some people refer to Keinemusik as like boring hotel lounge music. Or I've heard somebody say it's like, what's that hotel in LA? Like the standard music or something like that, right? Like standard lobby music and shit. So people sometimes aren't the biggest fans of it. I've heard some people launch criticism about them because they're like, two white guys in the group. And they play a lot of like African inspired music. I'm a piano stuff. They collaborate with Black Coffee. They're playing in other parts of Africa and shit. They're on big lineups. And maybe other black DJs who play a similar sound don't get the same looks that they do, which I think is unfair because these guys have been in the game for a long time and they've been playing tribal infused house music for a long time too. So I think they paid their dues. I wouldn't say it's a racism type of thing personally. But let's continue. The person says the set lacked that deep organic groove that usually defines their sound. Transitions were basic. The selection leaned too commercial, more like a TikTok playlist than a Keinemusik experience. There were a few nice moments, especially during the sunset, but overall it didn't have the emotional build-up or the energy we've seen from them in the past. Disappointing considering what they're capable of. So this is a really good, honest feedback, to be fair. He's not complaining about the price. He's not really complaining about the volume, or she, I think it's a girl. But basically, he's giving them a lot of constructive feedback. I think I've heard people mention that about the transitions. I think at their level, when you're playing at that kind of scale, it's probably hard to put your best foot forward every single set. You're going to probably start phoning in at some point. So it's no surprise to hear the transitions or sections aren't the greatest. What else are they saying here? They are saying that the music was too commercial. I think that isn't maybe their fault. I think a lot of that sound now has become commercialized. I think Amapiano's like as popular as it's ever been now. You're probably not going to find a lot of interesting Amapiano music anymore because everyone kind of baited up and, you know, has gotten into it. Similar to like Afrobeats and shit. Afrobeats music nowadays probably isn't as good as it was in the beginning or maybe a couple of years ago because it's now become a very popular genre. So a lot of people are jumping on it and making subpar music. Maybe you could say kind of music have to start digging more and investing more in the sound and starting to kind of, you know, maybe put on some different artists and shit, highlight some different moments. That could be true. But I don't think it should be blamed too much on them in that respects. And yeah, that was it, right? They liked one moment that was into the sunset. Cool, no problem there. Another person here said, defo the worst set you guys have played so far. You guys are knowing for playing music made with emotion and feeling. Real good stuff. Yesterday you guys only played a bunch of disconnected tracks. Very disappointed. Last year was way better. The real kind of music style I know since 2016. So these are fans, right? These are proper long time fans who have seen kind of music play all around the world, probably mainly, or maybe even all in whenever they come to the UK. So they can attest to like, no, I saw you play last year. I saw you play 2 years ago and this was terrible. So I wonder if they're going to actually listen to that type of feedback or they're going to judge it as just purely hate. I wonder. Another person says, the boys, you really need to reflect on this event. Another person says, underground, love it, which obviously isn't true because they're not really underground. London Crown gave the absolute best, someone said here. Oh no, Anmi says. Another person says, honestly, one of the most disappointing events I've been to. The set was super slow and boring. It dragged on for 5 hours and just made everyone tired. Could have been way better if it was a higher, tighter 2 hour set with actually decent music. It didn't live up to the hype at all and it felt like there wasn't much respect for the fans. The crowd was getting frustrated and there was so much pushing because no one could really vibe to the music. The funny thing about Amapiano or like, you know, some of this tribal based music, I don't know if people have actually DJed it before, but if you actually try to DJ that type of music in an event, you'll realize how difficult it is to get it right. Because something that I noticed, like as soon as you start to play 2 to 3, 4, 5 Afro House records, it really starts to kind of slow down the event. No matter what the BPM is, it's not really high octane jumpy music. Some of the best music from that genre is the sign of chill, sitting by the pool on the beach, at a fucking, you know, beachfront property somewhere, in a nice cocktail bar somewhere type of music. It's not really the type of music that would work across or work that well in the festival, I don't think. I guess maybe you weave it into a high octane set for like some of the slower moments to give people a chance to get their water and chill the fuck out. But it's kind of hard to play, I'm not going to lie. People underestimate how hard it is to keep the energy up on that type of music, in my humble opinion, having played it a few places, whatever it may be. The tighter 2 hour set thing, I agree. I think they make a good point. But I think in practice it would be difficult. Because if I'm not mistaken, the tickets to this London event were really, really expensive. Probably north of £100. I don't think a lot of people in London will be happy if they paid £100 to see these guys play for 2 hours. No matter how tight it was, I think they'd be pissed and be wanting to have more even money for their buck. So, you know, be careful what you wish for, because I think most people wouldn't like it in the slightest. Most wouldn't like it. Another person says here, it was a shit show. Overcrowded, poor management, horrible sound. The music you guys played, what the hell was that? After seeing you in Tulum, I had high hopes, but this was by far the worst event I've ever been to and a waste of time and effort. That's interesting, isn't it, right? You would imagine because of the global nature of fucking dance music that they would want to put more effort into the London show, because most likely if you do the London show well and the videos go viral, you're probably going to end up playing in a bunch of other places because other locations want to bring you there. But instead, by account of this comment, they smashed it in Tulum for some reason. But then when it came to London, they kind of phoned it in. It's kind of odd, isn't it? They kind of did it the wrong way around. Another person here says, one of the worst DJ sets I've witnessed, coming from a fan. Wow. I know you guys don't plan sets, but the whole thing felt really unplanned, except for a few deliberate, absolutely shit songs that jilted you from any rhythm you thought you were getting into. Some of the mixing was atrocious, just trying to make crap go together. Wow. I wonder, like, what is the thinking? What is the idea behind not planning a set when you're playing at that sort of level? Sure, it doesn't make any sense. Surely if you're playing at that level, at that scale, you should be planning your sets. You should have a tight 2-hour set, maybe have an hour where you freestyle, but you should have a tight 2-hour set so that you can take your punters on a journey, and so you can also ensure that you play the hits. You know, that's what I'll do. Have a tight set for those 2 hours so you can make sure you fit all the hits in. That would be an ideal way to go about it. But I guess maybe they want to freestyle it because there's 3 of them playing, and maybe planning it would be more work than what it's worth. Who knows? But I think planning it will be a much better idea than doing what they did there. Another person says, one of the best sets ever. London was pure magic. This is some random person. I don't think this agrees with all the other sentiments. Been loving you in the past, still vibing in the present, and we're always in the future. You guys are truly the best in the world. Keep the rhythm alive. Dream team, stay together. You're unstoppable. Another person says, as a fan and follower, I'm truly disappointed. Last year, the performance quality was much better, and the emotional connection should have been made with the music, just wasn't there. It felt like a bunch of random tracks with no real feeling. Such a shame after all the anticipation I had yesterday. So yeah, that's gutting, because there's some people that paid like hundreds of pounds for tickets to go see this event on resale sites and shit. And even the standard tickets were really expensive. I think they sold out in like 4 minutes or something stupid like that. So the demand was crazy. People are really looking forward to it. The promo for it was really cool. They projected all the dates, all the different locations they're doing the event on, like key iconic London buildings. I think maybe near the Barbican or something that looked really cool. But in the end, it turned out to be a bit of a shit show, according to people here on here. Another person says, no matter what people say, the event was great. If you don't know how to have fun and enjoy your time, it's no one else's fault. I don't agree with that, to be fair. The majority of people here are complaining and saying bad things. I don't think it means they were not having fun. I think the event wasn't as fun as they probably hoped it to be. Another here person says, my 5th Keinemusik, and sad to say the least soulful. Most of it felt very flat. Another person here says, honestly, this was the most disappointing show I've ever been to. The place was overcrowded. The sound was awful. The music, nothing like what we know them for. It felt totally off. Just noise with no flow or energy. I've seen you in Tulum in London before, and those were incredible. So I bought 40 friends this time, and most left early. Such a letdown. And she tags all the people from Keinemusik in that in that post as well to make sure she gets their attention. I'm sure none of them are going to respond, because for some reason, DJs and whatever, especially DJs actually, they always have a very inflated sense of self. They don't really feel like they need to explain or lower themselves to talk to a lot of their fans. I'm assuming some of these guys probably don't reply to DMs, especially from their fans, unless they're like, very hot 21-year-old girls from Zurich or some shit. So, you're probably not going to have any joy, especially if you're complaining, in terms of getting the response from them, which is really disappointing. But at least you get your feelings out there and your thoughts out there. So, if they want to listen or not, people know while gone. So, as you want to check some clips here, maybe we can see what went down. This is courtesy of the Gunnersbury Park location geotag thing on Instagram. Now it might be a bit fucked up because today I think this festival was happening, right? So let me see if I can see anything from Keinemusik. This has to have been from, okay, there, I got a couple here already. I can see the London tag here. So let's see if we can see anything regarding Keinemusik that'll give us an idea on how shit it was. Let's see what's going on here. It's a cool picture. Any videos from this person? No videos? Yeah, there we go. Got some videos. Okay, first thing I don't like straight away is the cameras. There's way too many cameras out. Again, it's impossible to stop this sort of thing because it's a fucking park. But maybe a message, maybe something, like a little communication, a comunicado oficial or something goes out and like, hey guys, we're going to put on this event. It's going to be scorching. We want to see you guys dancing. We want to see your happy faces. We want to see all your outfits. We're going to have people in the crowd taking pictures. We're going to have drones flying around and shit. Don't worry, you don't need to take pictures. We'll have loads of clips available that you can kind of share and shit. You know what I mean? Enjoy the rave, like experience it. Be in the fucking moment. Maybe a little message like that, even not covering the stickers, might go a long way to reduce the phone usage, because Jesus, there's way too many phones out here. And most of these people won't rewatch these clips ever again. see what I mean about that music? Like, even that drop, it didn't really do nothing, you know? That music is very, I don't know why it does that. It's very laissez-faire, very kind of like chill. Even that drop, which should have been like a real big moment, didn't really have the needed oomph. Now, maybe it's because everybody there is absolutely, you know, drenched in sweat, super tired, dehydrated, maybe. But it just lacks that extra bit of like pop. It's really annoying why that music does that. Is there another one? Any more video? Look at the and this girl's zooming in, right? This girl's zooming in. Look at the amount of phones, man. Fucking hell. This. I wonder what this type of experience is like for people that go raving, going and just having your phone and literally watching a show through your phone. You're not even watching it while you're there. It's like such a weird thing people do. Like, put your phone in your pocket, man. Absorb the rave with your eyes and ears and all the other senses. You don't need to fucking experience it through a phone. You're actually right there. Right there. God almighty. As the girl pans the camera back, I guess around to see her, you see all the phones. Like, God, it's like a sea of phones. Sea of fucking phones. Can't even see her face. I think she forgot it's on Zoom. Another one, another post. Big up them though. Big up them though for fucking, you know, big up Courtney Russell for the pics and clips. It's good to hear. Good to see. We appreciate you. We appreciate you both.
Day by day. If I can live through this.
Oh, that's that song from the Blessed Madonna, right? Dun, 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 dun. I think it's a Blessed Madonna remix. I think of some strong, if I'm not mistaken.
What comes next will be marvelous.
This was nice. Whoop, not the drop. Oh, I dropped didn't come in there. Whatever this song is, this is fucking hard. This might be my favorite clip I've seen so far. But yeah, I guess it looked pretty decent. It looked really full, but there was too many phones, not enough room to dance, not enough people dancing really. I'm glad the grass was looking in good nick, so your shoes weren't. I guess people's shoes weren't covered in like what do you call it, in mud, dust and shit. It wasn't super dry. I think the grass maybe was kept wet and moist and something, so that's decent enough. So we go again. A lot of white people, innit? I don't see much diversity there. Keinemusik attract a very Caucasian crowd. The speaker stack is quite good, isn't it? But allegedly, I heard people say the sound was terrible. But it's a pretty big speaker stack there, and maybe some speakers around here. But allegedly, the sound was only good if you went right to the front. Standard, but that's a standard London thing. Most London festivals are terrible sound-wise, mostly because of the limiter they put on the sound in most festivals here, because they're usually near residential areas and they have a lot of noise pollution rules and whatever else it may be that kind of fucks it all up. Phil, there's a good example of it. But even if that wasn't the case, I think just in general the sound is shit in London festivals. You can even feel people are waiting for something. They're waiting for like a moment and it's not coming. I know this is probably influenced by the reviews I read, but even watching these clips, you can see that people are waiting for something to happen and nothing actually happens. Yeah, I guess so. More pictures of the dance. Oh, that's that Bad Bunny remix from Adam Porter, I think. Let's play that one more time. Yeah. I'm sure the Spanish-speaking folk out there were going crazy for this one. Look at the phones. Look at the amount of phones, bruh. God damn. Look at the phones. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. God almighty. Just too many, man. How are these motherfuckers enjoying themselves? What a weird situation to be in. Some of the music was good, some of it looked fucking terrible, all over the place really. What else? Let me see another one here. What's that? Yalla Habibi? What's this one about? This is a song by a person called Vanko, and it's called Mati and Sani, Yalla Habibi. Okay, not too bad. Let's see anybody else here that went. Any cool video clips we can see from them. I guess everyone I'm seeing in the silk scarf, I'm assuming went to Keinemusik, and you can kind of see it based on the pictures, which I think is really corny, to be fair. I would never do this, dress like another person, to be fair. But it's also a little bit of harmless fun when you go into an event. But yeah, unfortunately the music, I guess, and the situation didn't really match up to all this sort of stuff. Let's see if there's any good clips from this person. This t-shirt says, "She said Keinemusik on me. Sometimes I miss her." It's hilarious. Any clips from these girls? Any clips? No clips. No clips. No. There we go. We've got a clip here. Is there any sound on that one? Oh, no sound. No clips. Okay. Mostly pictures. Let's see anybody else got any clips here we can play. Maybe this young lady will have some clips. Nope, no clips. So literally everyone that was there had that fucking scarf over their head, under their head thing, innit? Like, what an absolute, what wallads, man. Like, I could never be that. Like, it's such a normie NPC thing to do. Like, just go and enjoy the event. You don't need to dress up the people you're going to go see. Like, it's not that, I don't know. Whatever. At least having fun though. At least having fun though. Big up them. At least having a good time. Yeah, I wonder if that London thing is there anyway in the whole duration at Gunnersbury Park, or if it's something that they organise. I wonder. More phones. What the fuck is that girl wearing? That's a nasty top. Is that like a bra top that's got a hood on it? What type of garms is that? Is that what I'm seeing? Is that like a bikini top that's got with a hood? A bikini hoodie top? What? Also, looking at her bag, I wonder how many phones were stolen that day. I wonder how many phones got missing that day. I have a feeling quite a few. Let's see some more. Any more clips here? We've got some more clips here. Let's see what these clips are saying. I'm never not gonna have goosebumps when I hear people singing along to house tracks. That's fucking cool. People singing along to house music is fucking cool. I quite like that. But everybody dressed alike is really sending me. It's so fucking bizarre. But I guess it's not that different to people that go to like TikTok raves and wear New Rock boots and like, you know, harnesses and shit and chokers and have those really naff Y2K tattoos. Probably the same thing, innit? Just a different type of place, but same thing. Cool. Another post here. What's this one saying? It's a vlog. Don't know what's going on there. Oh, I did see a couple black people there. There's a black girl there on the floor, right? Yeah, okay. There are some blacks there as well. Wasn't just full of the mundeles. Okay, cool. Is some of the aesthetic? I see a lot of cowboy cartoon mixed with Keinemusik stuff going on there. Let's see if we got any more clips here we can play, and then we're gonna move on to our Reddit reviews. Nope. Any more questions? What about this person? Any clips? No clips. No clips. Just pictures. Cool. But yeah, it's full in it, man. It was fucking full house. It was a fucking full house, that's for sure. Alright, cool. We know what that is. We know that song. Any more? Give us some videos if you don't mind, ladies and gents. Nope. Nothing here. Everyone wearing the silk scarf thing. There we go. A clip, but there's no music. Maybe the music got copyright struck. Anything else happening here? Okay, we're not going to play that one. We don't care. I think that's it for the most part, right? There's no. Okay, there's one more clip here. Let's play this clip here. Oh, by the way, I love the DJ booth. The DJ booth is cool. Look at that. They designed this clear plastic perspex box shit for the DJ booth table. That's kind of cool. Instead of it being the standard dinner table, kitchen table fold out thing or the wooden thing, they've made it out of like clear plastic so you can see underneath. So I'm assuming so you can see their fits. I'm assuming that's why they did it. I think they did that DJ booth or DJ table that way and didn't cover it with a black piece of cloth so you can see their fits, because obviously the whole crew cares about clothes and shit and fashion and streetwear. So I think that's why they did that. I think that's a look at my fit, a DJ booth type of thing, which is hilarious. Too many people in it. Look at that. God, this definitely was oversold, innit? This had to have been oversold. Look at all the phones as well. Holy shit. It's even worse because everyone's got different cases, so you can see it's much more obvious here. Wow. This is definitely oversold. No way this was not oversold. Fair play, fair play. Anyway, let's do some Reddit reviews. Reddit reviews. This person says, Keinemusik London, worst concert ever. Share your experiences below. Courtesy of the Kloud Music subreddit, which is a subreddit for all Keinemusik fans. Let's see what people are saying here. The first one, so bad. I shared my thoughts on this community just now, but it's made me not ever want to go to see them again. It's just a fake Coachella vibe filled with TikTok girls who think they're influencers and cool. The set was awful too. Such boring songs played throughout. They needed to make it more mixed with popular songs v not. Like I said, I don't think it's to do with the songs being popular. I just think that genre has a time limit. You can't play that stuff forever. That genre just isn't going to work forever. It's very kind of like, you know, slow and boring-esque. It's like, there's not much more you can do with that type of genre of music. There's not much more you can do with it, honestly. And obviously now it's become popular and commercialized. the productions now you're getting aren't that great. So, you know, they're in it for the money. Someone says here, it's very clear now, and the TikTok girls are pathetic. My friend got kicked twice. Honestly, a big fuck you to the Keinemusik boys. I'd rather spend my hard-earned money on something else. Wow. Yep, me too. Majority put me off, which unfortunately is a big part of like raves, isn't it? It's something you can't control, but the people that go really do dictate the community. The people, the ravers on the dance floor, they dictate the enjoyment or lack thereof that people are gonna have more so than what you do. You know, as a fucking organizer, the people that go. So if you attract a shitty crowd, people are gonna have a shitty time, no matter how good the quote unquote event is, which is impossible because I guess it's part of the event. So the shitty crowd, the event's not good. I don't know. Another one. Yeah, me too. Majority put me off. So many pretentious people pushed into the food queues too. Waited over an hour for food and had queue jumpers get served. Called it out and majorly screwed at them because I was so mad and disgusted vendors let them in. The whole setup of the event was shambles and the clientele of the group has changed. Pretentious people who think they're cool. Yeah. So it's gone from music heads or like hipsters and shit to like, I don't know, I guess posh people, for lack of a better term. Posh people who want to be a little bit underground, you know, but don't really want to get dirty. Maybe that's what we're seeing now. I don't really know. Another person said here, so sad to hear. It was definitely a shit show and the climate was definitely changed and Keinemusik boys seem to be liking and milking this new clientele. But honestly, I'm never spending money on them again. I wouldn't even go if someone paid me a lot of money to. But I think they've always wanted that. I think people are mistaken with I think Keinemusik, Adam Port exactly, or precisely, because I'm more familiar with Adam Port because I kind of remember him from the Super Future Forum days. And I've been following him as a DJ for a long time. He's kind of always given pretentious vibes anyway. I don't think Adam Port comes across as like the nicest, chillest, down-to-earth type of guy. He seems like somebody that's kind of up his own ass, which again, it's not a bad thing. Everyone's got their personality. But I do think it's not a surprise. They're also very fashion industry adjacent. I think Rampa is or isn't maybe going out with Naomi Campbell. She's not known to be the most warmest, bubbliest person in the world. The fashion industry is full of, you know, a lot of wankers. They do a lot of brand events with AP and all these other people. Those I would imagine will also be full of people that you probably wouldn't want to spend any time with voluntarily. So it's not a surprise. They've clearly been pushing themselves in that direction for a long time. They left behind the underground, which makes it funny why they put the underground on that sign. I guess it was maybe like a tongue-in-cheek joke because they are anything but underground right now. But yeah, I'm not surprised it's gone the way it is, but I also think this is intentional. I think they always wanted to get to the spot. It's kind of the opposite of of Innovision. I feel like with Innovision, Dixon and the rest of the guys are trying desperately to kind of battle or oscillate between doing commercial things and also doing underground things. But they're trying to keep a handle on it. They're not trying to overdo it, which is hard to do because I guess the money is really attractive too. It's hard to do. It must be hard to turn down some of these big things that are going to obviously make you look like you sold out. But the money is, you know, it's very tempting, I'd assume. So I get why they're there and I'm not surprised. Another person says, so this was my first time seeing them live. I have heard heard horror stories about their shows. My last show was Black Coffee, but I was a guest list, so it was very different. But this, for the moment we got to the park, it was chaos. There were just 4 doors, which essentially gaps in the fence. No queue system outside, but a massive crowd at each gap. Once through it, it was okay, except for 3 miles of barriers before you got to a ticket scan. Bag search and person search was 0, as evident by many dealers in the crowd. Well, people are complaining about the lack of search. Look how the clientele changes, isn't it? People are complaining there wasn't enough searches. Could you imagine that? People complain that they didn't search people enough. As evident by the many dealers in the crowd and the huge NOS canisters and balloons. Everywhere you turn, people were either snorting or doing balloons. Weed was everywhere and smelt horrible. Wow, people don't enjoy that sort of stuff at raves. Okay, I didn't know that. I guess people sometimes want to go to a rave and not see that sort of stuff, or just not smell it. Maybe they don't want to see the drug use on the dance floor, and maybe they don't want to smell the weed. But I thought a festival and an open air, that's the perfect place to smoke a joint and listen to music. But I guess some people don't agree. Merch was crap. Was actually very disappointed with this, and specifically wearing the shirt, didn't buy one. Drinks I thought were reasonably priced. As the food, we got our food fairly quickly, but some new friends, they waited over an hour for pizzas. I was disappointed. To be honest, though, if you're buying food at that type of event, you're a fucking idiot. You should be eating before, or you maybe should bring a snack with you to eat in the queue, but you shouldn't be fucking waiting to eat in there. That's a bit stupid, to be fair. I was disappointed by the set design. I quite like the set design. It was super lazy and the Kloud was tiny. The guys, but to be fair, if it was huge, that would have been a health and safety liability as well. The guys themselves were also fairly low down, so impossible to see from anywhere but near the front. Oh, that's a good point. But maybe they tried to be low down to connect with the crowd. That's the problem. If you put your stage too high, people think you're disconnected and you kind of start looking like you're looking down on the crowd. If you put it too low, then people, to match the eye level of the people from the back can't really see you. So I guess you can't win. It was impossible to see them from anywhere but the front. I saw one fight. There was a fight there, an actual punch up. No security at all to be seen anywhere. They all just ran away after a few punches. The set itself was okay. Felt like the first couple of hours were a filler whilst we waited for the gates to close, and then it was all right. Ah, okay. So they purposely didn't play the bangers the first hour because not everybody was in. At least they didn't play Craig David again. I think I like the idea of seeing them live more than actually being there. Have tickets for Berlin, but considering not going. Oh yeah, there's a Berlin event happening, I think in August. I think Riznik is going to there. Riznik is one of the original members of Keinemusik. He left to kind of do his own thing. Or I think he left actually and kind of semi-retired, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to come back. So it's going to be one of the first times in a long time that all four people from Keinemusik are going to be playing together. So if you're in Berlin or if you've got a ticket, I would suggest you go because that might be better. Maybe with a Berlin crowd, it might improve. Yeah, if interested in merch, the set design was great, but please also get professionals involved and just make better. There have been so many great set builds all over the world, and London is just a white background with London in the black letters and tiny cliche underground cloud. It could have been so much better. I wouldn't say it was a con, but the VIP definitely is. I have not seen one single VIP that actually looks VIP. VIP at the event like this is actually only available to buyers or tables or guest entry. The purchase VIP just isn't it. Oh really? So there's another VIP on top of VIP. The VIP that you see on the listing site is just a shitty one. There's another one that you can get only if you know the people behind the scene. I know that. The purchase VIP isn't it. I'm sure a lot of people buy exaggerating the stage, but just never seems worth it. And tables were £10,000. People were paying $10,000 for tables in a park. Wow. Really, I agree with you. They continue to answer random girls' DMs and putting them on guest lists so that that fan videos of the stage come nice. The security of the back. Oh, really? The security of the backstage told us if you know someone at the table, ask them to come and get you, and they will let you. And they only stopped when it got crowded. So there were tables at the back. Fucking cringe, innit? They had fucking tables near the stage. I told you about the girls thing, innit? If you got a beard, don't even try and DM them for track ID. You're not getting shit. But if you got big set tits and you're very, very, cute, you're definitely gonna get some looking. So at this point, saying negative feedback, you would think it would be good together. They would do a full Kloud. Cool. Those are bad reviews. Let's see another one as well. Another post somebody said, why can't they just play Rapture Part 3? This person says, it was the worst kind of music event ever. Organization was shit. They play below average music. If they are so disinterested, they should just stop. I've attended better concert with less mainstream music from them. Still great vibes. This was the final straw in my Keinemusik journey. I'm never wasting a penny to see them anywhere in the world. Wow. Definitely felt like it was a lot of filler and summer transition look came through. We were still arriving when they actually got on stage. Sounded like they opened strong with All I Got Your Voice. Couldn't hear it, but it sounded like one of them. But the speakers were so bad we couldn't hear anything. Whilst queuing to buy merch, drinks or food. So our first song I actually got to enjoy was Never Ender, which was played at 7:10, which is actually a bit of a joke considering that it went on at 4:45. Jesus Christ. My girlfriend and I had the exact same thoughts. Rapture 3 would have been perfect. And then last post here from somebody. I just came back from the Keinemusik London show in Gunnersbury Park with friends, and wow, what a letdown. Firstly, the barriers into the park were horrendous, going around and round constantly to enter the main stage. Security was also a bit bad, given that they only searched your bag roughly and nothing else. Honestly, people in London are kind of narky, are kind of feddy, Why are you complaining that they didn't search you well enough in a rave? Why is that a bad thing? I guess the benefits for some people, but God knows if anyone brought a dangerous weapon or no one's gonna bring it. No one's gonna gun people down at Keinemusik event. Relax. Layout was rubbish. Main stage with speakers nearby, could barely hear it, and the other end of the park. Food stalls had disgustingly long queues. We wait over an hour for chicken again. I don't think you should be buying food at a fucking open air event. You should be eating beforehand, or if at worst, eating the food in the queue before you go in. The people probably the main issue, cutting into queues for food. I had to call out a few people because they waited over an hour for food and they pushed in and had been served. Not to mention the pushing during the music set. So tight and couldn't breathe. Ended up standing way near the back, but if you stand in the back you can't hear it. The set that kind of played was so boring. They played same songs during the entire show, and the most popular ones at the end, they knew people would leave after they played their top songs. They really should mix it up. Felt like a wasted day. What do you think? How many times do we have to discuss that Keinemusik is cooked? Their crowds are awful and their sets are lazy. Same conversation been going on for a year now. It's hilarious. Every show is the same shit. Plus or minus called Kloud. But that's the thing. Every year is the same shit. People keep going. That show looked full, man. That show looked fucking full. You look at, there was a bunch of people there. Absolutely jam-packed. So I don't think they are missing out on anything, to be fair. Look at this. The show was full. Yeah. People having fun, man. It looked full to me. I don't think they are hurting for any people coming through to the event. I think they're fairly fine in this situation. Let's scroll down. Let me see if I got anything more to show you before we move on. Back to the Reddit thing, and then we're gonna end. 2 more seconds, if you don't mind. Bear with me. Bada bing, bada boom. What else went down here? Keinemusik again. Let's see if we got anything else I can pull up on here. Any other quick clips? Is that a clip or is that a picture? That's a picture. We've seen that already. Let's see if these girls got any video clips. Double check. Any clips from these ladies? Must be some videos here, right? No videos, only pictures. Okay. People uploading pictures again on Instagram. What a change. Any pictures here from this young lady? Nope. Okay, cool. How about her? Nope. There you go. Got a video. No sound there for some reason. Annoying. Okay, no sound on that one. We got some sound here though, properly. What's that person say? You can see them right from the back. This person's at the back. You can see them pretty clearly. Or maybe later on in the day when everyone's on their shoulders you couldn't, but you can see pretty easy from there. I see some people doing some deals there. Okay, cool. And let's see this one. Is this Keinemusik too? Yeah, this is something Keinemusik too. That might be the VIP area actually. That might be the VIP table they're talking about. Probably get your food and shit. Okay, so there are these. What a weird situation, huh? So judging from the video, on the side, on the left and the right of the stage, there are these little sections, these squares that are like barriered off, and I'm guessing this must be the VIP spaces. So there's different little spaces. There's one there, maybe there's 3 on either side, and I don't know which one you get to stand in, but you can kind of see the stage, kinda, not really. Weird spot. Okay. There's the stage. Okay, another one. Okay, so there's one area that's directly behind the DJ booth, and there's one area that's not, which is a bit of a par, in it. You kind of would want to have it all open so you can kind of figure out your way to get to that bit there. But I guess they're trying to, that's a crowd control thing, trying to make it keep it separate. But yeah, okay, cool. There's that. These are kind of good videos to kind of get inside what it looks like in the VIP booth. So big up this person. What's her name? Millie something. Less noise person. Shirt on. A lot of influence, yeah. A lot of people filming content, isn't it? Like, I get the vibe. I'd be really annoyed if I saw someone do like this type of behind the back twirling hot girl thing. Like, what the fuck, man? Just have a good time. Why are you wasting all this time on this content shit? Fucking no. And for like what, 100 likes? Like, it's not worth it, mate. But the good thing about those areas is that you get your food quick. You get your food quick and you can order your drinks quickly. So much talking. Cool. Any more I can see here? Keinemusik without any trending video audio. Let's hear this. Let's watch. Whoa! Look at, you see the Snake King crew. Do you see how long it took to get in? The queue snaked the barriers. There was like 17 rows there. God almighty.
Look at that clear sky. Ah, love it. Look.
That's a brutal set, isn't it? That's the brutal set. Opening for Keinemusik in Gunnersbury Park sounds like an amazing set, but in practice it must be brutal. No one's dancing, hardly anyone's there. They're only there for Keinemusik. They don't give a fuck about who you can see all of them. You can look into their pupils. Oh, it's so crushing, that one. That's a proper graveyard shift. That is where you fucking that's where you earn your money, mate. That's it. That's where you earn your money, opening up. So big up that girl who was playing, man. Big up you. Hopefully you had a good time, but that looked brutal. The food looks good. The food looks kind of tasty, not gonna lie. One thing we do good here in London, we had good street food, so the food looks decent. To be fair, this actually makes it look quite enjoyable. This girl here, what's her name? Big up Elaine. This actually makes it look quite like a vibe. Maybe because she was actually around regular people. But this actually doesn't look too bad. It's still a lot standing for me. A lot, probably too much posing, but she actually captured a lot more of the essence, the vibe. Everyone with this fucking scarf thing, innit? The fucking, what's it thing called? The Adam Port look. So cringe. So fucking cringe, man. He doesn't even wear it anymore now because everyone wears it, right? This little uniform, this little costume, the silk scarf over the hat. Too much, man. Come on, guys. It looked like it cleared out towards the end though. It looked like a lot of people left. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just looking at the clips and stuff. It looked like people cleared out towards the end. Maybe they got too flustered. They couldn't bother to fight for the spaces. It looked really empty towards the end. Cool. Big up that girl. She smashed it. Good little clips there. Let me see one more review, then we'll end it. What's this person say? I was there too last year in Finsbury. The experience was super boring. Sound was bad. Stage looked crap last year. I just gave up on Keinemusik after that. I also sold my ticket for Keinemusik Amsterdam after I experienced the one in London. Wow. Yo, these are super fans, isn't it? They buy tickets in advance like that. They buy one for London, one for Amsterdam, one for Berlin, all free. And now some are selling them and shit. So I guess it's still good for them because they get money in their pockets, but the fans are not going to be there. But then I went to Voodoo Village in Belgium, Adam Port and me, and were also playing there on Sunday. And I had zero expectation for them, none. But for the first moment, they touched the decks till the last second. It was straight fire. You see, that's what happens. So I wonder if it's just you catch them at the wrong time because they're human. I wonder if that's actually the aspect of it. Are they shit, or do you just catch them at the wrong time? Like, let's look at this. Let's look at fucking let's go on RA and let's check Adam Port's RA. Maybe it's just an unlucky thing. Maybe you have to kind of look at their listings and figure out a date that it looks like they get some rest on either side, and you might find them refreshed. You know, maybe that's the key, because let's see their listings, because their listings are crazy, isn't it, right? So this is Adam Port's RA calendar thing. Up and coming gigs. He's playing in Athens today. Full Circle presents Adam Port and Ammi playing. He's playing at Brunch Electronic, which is on 28th in Madrid. Then he has a break for a bit from June. Yeah, maybe like a 2-week break. He has a 2-week break from June 28th to the 13th, it seems like. Then there's a Keinemusik Paris event. So this might be Flames. So maybe what you should do if you're a Keinemusik fan is maybe try to go to one of these 2 events. The 28th in Madrid or the 13th of July in Paris. That might be good. Those 2 events might be good because they've got a big break in between. Then, or maybe the Keinemusik event in New York City. That might actually be good because I don't think they're playing any other events, any other places in America. I'm assuming because of exclusivity deals. They're playing that one gig in New York City. Keinemusik, Adam Port and Rampa playing on the 26th of July. Next event they're doing is in Berlin on the 23rd of August. Then another one on... So all these events will be better than London. All of these events, unfortunately. Madrid, Paris, New York, Berlin, Johannesburg, and Cape Town will all be better than fucking... Especially Johannesburg and Cape Town because they'll be in Africa. And they'll want to show out. Do you know what I mean? They'll be in the birthplace of fucking Amapiano and tribal stuff. They're gonna want to show out, right? But yeah, unfortunately that's the vibe. And then let's see some. I want to see Rampa as well. I want to see what his listings are saying. Has he got the same type of? I wonder if they even listed as Keinemusik. Maybe it looks like they do the names individually. Let's see Rampa's listings. How's his stuff? Yeah, okay, they're all the same. They're all kind of playing the same amount of gigs, to be honest. Not a lot of extra ones. I think he's playing this one by himself, right? Rampa in Turkey, Istanbul, Monkey Projects. But for the most part, they're playing together. And yeah, maybe it's just unlucky the timing that these guys went. A bit unlucky. So this person said the Voodoo Village one in Belgium was really good. So yeah, July 5th, I'll be giving it another try. They're showing Amsterdam because I heard a lot of people enjoyed it last year in Amsterdam. Is it July 5th? Amsterdam? When's Amsterdam? I don't see that one. Paris. Is it Amsterdam July 5th one? Really? Why is that? I don't see that. 5th of July, Amsterdam, Keinemusik. Let's go and actually let's go on the website. The website will probably tell us what we need to know more. Keinemusik. Let's go to the website. They usually got listings on their website that tell you exactly where they're playing. So let's see. Maybe that will tell us. Let's see here. Dates. There you go. Dates on their website. Let's not go to individual listings. Okay, so yeah, they are playing in Amsterdam. My bad. So yes, these dates are probably a lot better. The ones I mentioned before. So they've got, what would I say here? Will be a good one to go to. The Madrid one, obviously, because there's a break in between, and they're playing in Ibiza because there's a break here. They're playing in Athens on the 21st. Then they break, I think, for a week or 5 days, I say, and then they play on the 20th again. Amsterdam one is happening on the 5th of July, which happens 5 days after Ibiza, which might be good as well. Then they play in Amsterdam again. That's Ammi, sorry, only. Keinemusik crew together is 13th in Paris, and me on 13th. Okay, they're all playing there. Cool. So there are some dates here. If you're careful and you're clever, you can figure out places where they're going where it's likely to be good. Another one says, trying to give a balanced view. I've been a huge fan since hearing their Essential Mix in 2020, and this was the first time. 2020, you know, I've been listening to it for longer than that. 2020 ain't nothing. The positives, the weather was amazing and really fit the vibe. I liked the daytime rave. It wasn't too crowded inside. Near the back, I'm sure it was different near the front. There was plenty of room to dance. The people around us were mostly pretty friendly. The sound was decent. Someone mentioned it fell off towards the sides, but I felt it was intentional, so there was quieter areas. Oh, okay. The queues of the bars were reasonably quick. The set they played was reasonable. Some great funk, 60s lyrical music, Age of Aquarius. When I first got in around 5:30, I had hoped to hear a few more. The atmospheric tunes, Rapture, Impossible, 2000. I'm not into the vocoder vocals on songs like Move. They played quite a few of those. I wanted to stay to the end, but with 10 minutes left, they dropped one of those vocals and I left. The bad, I've never seen a crowd like that. No, hold on, let's continue. Sorry, I missed that. The good. Playing Wonderwall was a shit show. I get that Adam Port likes to throw a random tune here and there, but no self-respecting DJ would ever play that song. I really can't think of a worse song to play at a rave. It makes them sound like wedding DJs. However, most of the crowd loved it and rushed it with their phones. But to be fair, that's actually a good ender. I'm all for like a good cheesy ender. I'm all for a good cheesy ender, like maybe a good Weezer track. You know what I mean? Like you got to make it a bit fun. But throwing it randomly in the middle of a set is a bit mad. Another one. I've never seen a crowd like that. Totally packed full of Instagram people parading around, taking videos of themselves, completely ignoring the music. I've heard about this at their gigs, but still wasn't ready for it. It was bizarre and grotesque. The fact that there were so many people loved them dropping Oasis song kind of says it all, really. True, to be fair. The people that enjoy Wonderwall at raves and like are definitely the ones you don't want to be around. So this person's got a point. The queue to get in was poorly organized and bordered on dangerous. The stage was pretty lame, with what many people have said. Should have been some screens up. True, they probably should have put some screens. That's a good point, to be fair. That big London thing probably wasn't necessary. Probably put some screens up. I could see Anmy because he was wearing a white t-shirt and a hat, but couldn't make out the other two at all. The bars ran out of a lot of drinks near the end, so there's some of the food stalls. Overall, I enjoyed it. Imagine bars running out of drinks. They're my favorite electronic artists. I was with good company and the weather was great. It was a low bar for me, have a good time, but I'm not going to rush back to them, which is unusual for me. I've seen lots of from my favorites over and over, which is Rampant on me. Rah. Simply stop supporting the show. Honestly, this was the worst Keinemusik show ever. Security was shit. All this was shit. I think most of the things people are saying, expected a big event, long queues. As for the set, 5 hours is a long time, so I understand why there was a lot of filler. Some actually enjoyed. Yeah, but that's no excuse. 5 hours is no excuse for filler. You can still have a good filler. You can still have a good 5 hour set that has bangers on it. It doesn't have to be filler. But again, this sounds like each London show is regressing and getting worse, this person says. First saw them in Troxy a few years ago and really enjoyed that night. Note, this was before they became massively popular and still played decent music. None of this Afro house bollocks. I think this person doesn't like black people. Saw them in Finsbury Park. I honestly thought they were kidding, by the way. Kidding, joke, relax. Fucking terrible, crap in fact, boring, lazy, meandering. Set went nowhere. Watching them slowly dilute their potential over the years has been disappointing. Okay, fair play. Fair play. People didn't like it. People really didn't like it. Now, will they respond? Will they say anything about it? I don't think so. They're going to ignore it, pretend it never happened, and just keep on moving on. Here's another post, actually. Are there any complaints here? Now stop playing mainstream TikTok pop. You will soon lose the real fans. Very poor mixing and track selection, someone says here. The front row is dead. A dream night in London with Keinemusik, no clouds, just pure vibes and golden sunset. Can we please split and make 2 events? One for camera addicted and one for people dancing? That's a good point, actually. Not sure what all the complaints are about. This was the absolute worst event I've ever been to. Being overcrowded, shit speakers, and do not get me started on the music. The worst experience. Way disappointed. Instead of overcrowded events to the point of disaster, focus on delivering good quality. Somebody get track 4. The set was poor. I'm still scratching. Wow. Where's Wonderwall and Party for You? Amazing. Worst set list played since forming. Ruined, crazy for it. Ruined positions. Wow. All the real comments deleted. Oh, are they deleting comments, really? Are they deleting comments? I don't think so. Track ID. Okay, cool. Let's actually see. Is there a crank? I think there's a Crank Brother page 2, right? Let me actually check out what Crank Brother are saying. I'm curious to see what fucking Crank Brother are saying about the overall event. Did they have bad comments on their page too, or is it just left for Keinemusik to handle? Okay, there's Crank Brothers. Let's see what Crank Brothers page is saying, because I bet their comments aren't that great either, are they? And actually, just go back to this one. Are there any videos? There's videos here. Let's see what this sounds like. I like that shirt though. That shirt's pretty good. That shirt is really fucking good. What's it called again? Is it Sandman? Well, I forgot the artist that has that song called Sandman. I think that's the one, right? Where the artwork comes from. I think that's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Let me quickly refresh this because I want to hear this properly, and my computer's going a bit daddy do. Cool. Let's see anything more here. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, there you go. Let's play this again one more time. Cool. Take this out. Okay, next one. A lot of people, isn't it? I also get the feeling like all the complaints are really fair, because if you think about it, obviously the crowd and the mute and this volume, whatever, put that aside. I think a lot of people are basically saying if they actually DJ'd better, it would be a way funner event. People are disappointed with the set, with the mixing, with the song selection. Like truly disappointed with that, which kind of is a good thing, because it means, you know, that's probably the easiest thing to control. How you play, the songs you play, how you mix. So maybe not all is lost. Maybe not all is lost. I wonder why I didn't have any screens. Now I'm thinking of it aloud. I'm thinking most likely the reason why I didn't have any screens is because it's really expensive to put LED screens up, LCD screens up. But I think they should have put some screens up. That would have probably made the experience better, especially if you had a screen where people in the crowd were spotlighted. So you could see the DJs no matter how far you were, and then a roaming camera that picked out all the baddies and shit. That'd be pretty cool. People will obviously be, you know, playing up to the camera as well and create like a good little vibe. It's a bit corny and cheesy, but I think that would have worked really well with this particular situation. Yeah, like zero dancing in it. People in that crowd are hardly moving. Not sure if they're not moving because it's really packed or because they're tired or they just don't want to dance. But like, there's not a lot of like skanking in it. Just phones in the air. But I'm not gonna lie. I love that DJ table. I'm not gonna lie. I love that clear plastic table thing, so you can see through the fucking stage. I think that's sick. I think that's fucking cool. I love that. But I'm curious to see if anyone's going to start copying him and wearing that silk scarf across your body like that now, instead of putting it over your head. A lot more multicultural there towards the back. That was really cool. This song is hard, by the way. What song is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is Never Ender Rampa remix. This is really good. Hard. Cool. Next one. Pretty cool. Me ready to worsen an already tense situation with someone wanted him. Okay, cool. I don't mind that. So all in all, bit of a shit show, but everyone that was there, I guess, enjoyed themselves to some degree. Maybe some lessons will be learned for the next show. Hopefully, fingers crossed. One can only hope. Big up them. Let's see if they can turn it around. Let's see if they can turn it around. Okie dokie. That has been the Axiom Zinger Show, episode number 916. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you tuning in for the first time via the YouTube, you know what to do. Smash the like and subscribe, all that good shit. If you're listening to it via the podcast app, then of course, you should be hearing my song of the day. This is courtesy by the one and only JASSS, from a new EP or from a new album that's due to come out, I think in September, called Eager Buyers. This is the actual single from the actual album that's coming out very, very soon. So I recommend you check it out. She put out an album, I think in 2024, that I really, really liked as well. That was on Ostergut. I don't know if this is on Ostergut as well, but it's fucking phenomenal. I'm playing Eager Buyers. This is the EP name and the single name. This is Eager Buyers Edit. Playing on it for my voice for those of you listen to the audio side of the pod. Those of you watching the YouTube, unfortunately I can't play because I don't want to get copyright striked, but please do enjoy it if you do switch over to the audio side of things. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I'll see you guys very, very, very soon. Have a great weekend and peace.